The communication screen flickered to life in the main command center of Luna Station. Captain Jake Morrison set down his coffee and straightened in his chair as an alien face appeared before him. The being looked like it was made of blue crystal, with light moving through its transparent body like electricity through wire. "I am Zethkar, speaker for the Galactic Council of 12, the alien said. Its voice sounded like wind chimes in a storm. "I bring an official message for the species known as humanity." Jake felt his stomach drop. First contact with aliens had happened 3 years ago, but it had not gone well. Humanity had been exploring space for decades, finding empty planets and building colonies. They thought they were alone. Then they met the galaxy. The galaxy was not happy to meet them. "The Galactic Council has reviewed human activities in space," Zethkar continued. "Your species has violated 17 different treaties. You have built colonies in systems that belong to other races. You have taken resources without permission. You have ignored our warnings." Jake watched the alien's crystal face change colors from blue to deep red. This was not good news. "The Council demands the following," Zethkar said. "First, humanity must leave 12 star systems immediately. Second, you must pay massive fines for the damage you have caused. Third, you must appear before the Council to face judgment." The alien paused, and Jake could see other crystal beings moving behind it. "You have 72 hours to bring your entire fleet to the Kepler 442 system. There you will meet with the Council and discuss your punishment. If you show any signs of fighting, we will seal off your home system forever. No human ship will ever leave the area around your sun again." The screen went dark. Jake sat in silence for a moment, then pressed a button on his desk. "Get me Admiral Hayes, emergency priority." Within minutes, Admiral Lisa Hayes appeared on his screen. She was a tough woman in her 50s, who had commanded Earth's space forces for 10 years. Her face was grim. "I saw the message, Jake," she said. "How bad is this?" "Very bad," Jake replied. "They want our entire fleet. Our intelligence says they have over 3,000 ships waiting for us." Lisa rubbed her forehead. "And we have what, 800 ships? Most of them designed for exploration, not fighting." 847, Jake corrected. "But you're right. Most of our ships were built to explore new worlds and transport supplies. The aliens have been fighting wars in space for thousands of years." "I'm calling an emergency meeting," Lisa said. "All senior commanders, Luna Station, 2 hours." The meeting room was crowded with Earth's top military leaders. Holographic displays showed the alien fleet waiting in the Kepler 442 system. The numbers were frightening. Each alien ship was larger and more powerful than anything humans had built. General Rick Watson spoke first. "We should negotiate. Maybe we can give up some of the colonies they want and avoid a war we can't win." Captain Sue Miller shook her head. "If we give in now, they'll just demand more later. These aliens see us as primitive insects. They won't stop until they control everything we do." "The alternative is suicide," General Watson argued. 3,000 ships against 800. The math is simple. Jake had been quiet during the argument, studying the data on his tablet. Finally, he looked up. "What if we give them exactly what they asked for?" he said. The room went silent. Admiral Hayes raised an eyebrow. "Explain." "They demanded our entire fleet," Jake said. "What if we send our entire fleet, but not the way they expect?" Commander Ryan Blake leaned forward in his chair. He was young for a ship commander, only 35, but he had earned respect for his skill in handling difficult missions. "You're talking about the Liberty's Edge," Ryan said. Jake nodded. "The prototype has been ready for months. All the testing is complete. The crew knows the systems." Admiral Hayes looked confused. "You want to send one experimental ship against 3,000 alien warships?" "The Liberty's Edge isn't just one ship," Jake explained. "It's the result of 15 years of studying crashed alien technology. It represents everything we've learned about space combat. In many ways, it is our entire fleet." The room erupted in arguments. Some commanders called the idea insane. Others said it was the only chance they had. The debate went on for hours. Finally, Admiral Hayes called for quiet. "Ryan, are you willing to take this mission?" Ryan Blake stood up slowly. He knew what the question really meant. Was he willing to die for Earth? "My crew and I have trained for this exact situation," he said. The Liberty's Edge was built for one purpose: to show the galaxy that humans don't give up no matter what the odds. "It's a suicide mission," General Watson said. "Maybe," Ryan replied. "But if we're going to die, let's die fighting. Let's show these aliens that humans are not afraid." Admiral Hayes made the decision. We send the Liberty's Edge one ship as requested, but we also prepare every other ship we have for the worst-case scenario. Jake felt a mixture of pride and fear as he watched Ryan leave the meeting room. The young commander walked with confidence, but everyone knew he was probably going to his death. Later that evening, Jake stood in the observation deck of Luna Station, looking out at Earth below. The blue and green planet looked peaceful from space, but he knew that billions of people were counting on them to find a solution. His communicator buzzed. It was Ryan Blake calling from the Liberty's Edge. We're ready to depart, Ryan said. The crew is excited. They believe in the mission. Good luck, Commander, Jake replied. Make us proud. We will, Ryan said. And Jake? When the aliens ask why humanity sent only one ship, tell them it's because one ship is all we need. The communication ended, and Jake watched through the observation window as a single ship detached from the construction yard and began moving toward deep space. From the outside, the Liberty's Edge looked like any other human frigate, small, simple, and outdated compared to alien technology. The aliens had no idea what was really coming for them. Jake turned away from the window and headed back to the command center. In 72 hours, they would learn if humanity's greatest gamble would save them or destroy them forever. The Liberty's Edge moved through space like a ghost. From the outside, it looked like a standard human frigate, the kind of ship that alien scouts had seen dozens of times before. The hull was gray metal with simple markings. The engines glowed with ordinary blue light. Any alien scanner would classify it as primitive technology, barely worth noticing. Commander Ryan Blake sat in the captain's chair, watching stars stream past on the main screen. His ship was 3 days away from what might be the most important battle in human history. Around him, his crew of 47 worked quietly at their stations. Status report, Ryan said. Lieutenant Kate Sullivan looked up from her tactical station. She was a small woman with red hair and sharp green eyes. Her job was to operate the ship's weapons, but most of the crew didn't fully understand what those weapons could do. All systems are running perfectly, Kate said. The stealth field is holding steady. To any alien scanner, we look exactly like the old frigates they've seen before. Good, Ryan replied. Danny, how are our special systems? Chief Petty Officer Danny Torres was the ship's computer expert. He worked with the artificial intelligence that helped run the ship's most advanced systems. The AI had no name, but the crew called it Oracle. Oracle is ready, Danny said. All the alien technology we've integrated is working perfectly. The power core is stable, and the weapons are charged. Ryan nodded and opened a communication channel to Earth. The quantum entanglement communicator allowed instant contact across any distance. Another piece of technology humans had learned from studying crashed alien ships. Admiral Hayes appeared on the screen. Behind her, Ryan could see the busy command center of Luna Station. Report, Commander, she said. We're on schedule, Ryan replied. 43 hours until we reach the Kepler 442 system. The crew is ready. Any signs that the aliens know what you're really carrying? None. Our stealth systems are working perfectly. To them, we're just another primitive human ship. Admiral Hayes looked tired. Ryan knew she had been working around the clock, preparing Earth's defenses in case the mission failed. Ryan, I want you to know that President Carter has authorized Protocol Omega, she said. Ryan felt his heart beat faster. Protocol Omega was the most classified set of rules in human military history. It meant that if the Liberty's Edge was destroyed, Earth would fight with everything it had, no matter the cost. Understood, Admiral, Ryan said. Good luck, Commander. Earth is counting on you. The communication ended and Ryan sat back in his chair. Through the ship's internal communication system, he could hear his crew talking quietly as they worked. They all knew they were probably going to die, but none of them seemed afraid. Lieutenant Sullivan was running tests on weapon systems that most humans had never seen. The Liberty's Edge carried technology that combined human engineering with alien science in ways the galaxy had never imagined. Each weapon had been tested in secret but never used in real combat. Kate, walk me through the weapon systems one more time, Ryan said. Kate's fingers moved over her control panel, bringing up displays that showed the ship's hidden capabilities. The main cannon uses a combination of human kinetic technology and alien energy manipulation, she explained. Instead of just firing a projectile or energy beam, it creates what we call a reality tear. It actually rips holes in space itself. Ryan had seen the tests. The weapon could destroy targets that were supposedly protected by shields and armor that no human weapon should be able to penetrate. The secondary weapons are quantum disruptors, Kate continued. They don't just damage enemy ships. They make the atoms that make up the ships forget how to exist. And the defensive systems? Inertial dampeners that let us move in ways that should be impossible, Kate said. Shields that don't just block attacks but absorb them and redirect the energy to our own weapons. And the compression field that makes us look smaller than we really are. Danny Torres spoke up from his station. Oracle wants to add something. The ship's AI had a voice that sounded perfectly human, but Ryan always remembered it was really an advanced computer. Commander Blake, Oracle said, I have been monitoring alien communications. The Galactic Council fleet is confident that humanity will surrender without fighting. They see our single ship as either a sign of cowardice or stupidity. What's their formation? Ryan asked. 3,000 ships arranged in a perfect sphere, Oracle replied. It's designed to look impressive, but it's actually a poor combat formation. They're prepared for intimidation, not battle. Ryan smiled grimly. The aliens had made their first mistake by underestimating humans. As the hours passed, the crew settled into their final preparations. In the ship's small cafeteria, groups of crew members ate together and talked about home. Some wrote letters that would be sent to Earth if they didn't survive. Petty Officer Sam Carter, the ship's engineer, sat with Lieutenant Mike Johnson from Navigation. They were discussing the technical aspects of their mission. Do you think it will work? Sam asked. The technology works, Mike replied. We've tested every system. The question is whether we can survive long enough to use it effectively. 47 people against 3,000 ships, Sam said. Those are pretty bad odds. Maybe, Mike said. But we're not just 47 people. We represent all of humanity. Every person who ever refused to give up when things looked impossible. In his private cabin, Ryan reviewed the mission plans one final time. The Liberty's Edge would drop out of hyperspace at the edge of the Kepler 442 system. The aliens would demand surrender. Ryan would request permission to address the Galactic Council. Then he would show them why humanity had sent only one ship. His door chimed and Kate Sullivan entered. Can't sleep either? She asked. Too much to think about, Ryan replied. Kate sat down across from him. My grandfather fought in World War III, she said. He used to tell me stories about battles where humans were outnumbered 100 to 1. He said the thing about humans is that we get more dangerous when cornered. What happened to your grandfather? He survived the war and lived to be 96, Kate said. He always said that humans win not because they're stronger or smarter, but because they refuse to quit. Ryan felt better hearing that. In 18 hours, they would find out if Kate's grandfather was right. The Liberty's Edge continued through space, carrying its deadly secrets toward a confrontation that would change the galaxy forever. Behind them, Earth waited. Ahead of them, 3,000 alien ships prepared to destroy what they thought was a primitive human vessel. None of the aliens realized that humanity's deadliest weapon was not any technology they carried. It was the simple human refusal to surrender, no matter what the odds. The Liberty's Edge dropped out of hyperspace at the edge of the Kepler 442 system with a flash of blue light. Immediately, every sensor on the ship began screaming warnings. The alien fleet was even larger than intelligence reports had suggested. Commander Ryan Blake stared at the main screen in amazement. 3,000 ships hung in space like a metal constellation. Each ship was enormous, some the size of cities. They were arranged in a perfect sphere formation that stretched across millions of kilometers of space. My God, whispered Lieutenant Kate Sullivan from her tactical station. Look at the size of them. The smallest alien ship was twice as large as the Liberty's Edge. The largest was a massive dreadnought at the center of the formation that looked like it could destroy planets. Danny, are our stealth systems working? Ryan asked. Chief Petty Officer Danny Torres checked his displays. Perfectly. Their scanners are reading us as a standard human frigate. Power output looks normal. Weapons appear minimal, no threat detected. Good. Kate, start a passive scan of their fleet. I want to know what we're dealing with. Already on it, Kate replied. Her fingers flew over her controls as the Liberty's Edge's hidden sensors analyzed the alien ships. Commander, these vessels are incredible. Their shield technology is centuries ahead of anything we thought possible. Their weapons could level continents. Ryan felt sweat on his forehead, but his voice remained calm. Oracle, what's your analysis? The ship's AI responded immediately. The alien formation is designed for intimidation rather than combat effectiveness. Their ships are powerful, but they're arranged to look impressive, not to fight efficiently. If combat begins, they will have difficulty coordinating their attacks without hitting each other. Before Ryan could respond, the communication system activated. A new alien face appeared on the screen. This one looked like a cross between a shark and a snake, with scales that shifted from silver to black. "Human vessel," the alien said in a voice like grinding metal. "I am Admiral Kethamore of the Vorthak Imperium. You will power down all systems immediately and prepare for boarding." Ryan stood up slowly, making sure his uniform was straight. "Admiral, I am Commander Ryan Blake. Of the Earth vessel Liberty's Edge, I request permission to address the full Galactic Council before any action is taken, Admiral." Kethamore's scaled face twisted into what might have been a smile. "You request permission? You primitive creatures violated our laws and sent a single outdated ship to face the might of 12 civilizations. You are in no position to request anything." "Nevertheless," Ryan said calmly, "as a representative of humanity, I formally request the right to speak before the Council." The alien admiral turned away from the screen, and Ryan could hear heated discussion in several alien languages. The argument went on for several minutes. Finally, Admiral Kethamore returned. "The Council finds your arrogance amusing," he said. "Very well. You will have 5 minutes to deliver humanity's final words before we impose permanent quarantine on your species." "Thank you," Ryan replied. "I'm ready now." The screen changed to show the interior of the massive alien dreadnought. 12 different types of aliens sat around a circular table. Ryan recognized some of them from intelligence files. The crystal beings called Kithani, the plant-like Verdari, the energy beings known as photonics. All of them looked at the small human on their screen with expressions of contempt and amusement. "Speak, human," said a towering alien that looked like living stone. "Tell us why your species believes it can ignore galactic law." Ryan took a deep breath. This was the moment everything depended on. "Honored members of the Galactic Council," he began, "you demanded that humanity send its entire fleet to face your judgment. You wanted to see our military might so you could decide our fate." Several aliens made sounds that might have been laughter. "We have done exactly as you requested," Ryan continued. "We have sent our entire fleet." Admiral Kethamore's image appeared in a smaller window. "Human, we count one ship. One primitive, outdated vessel. Do you mock the Council?" Ryan smiled for the first time since arriving in the system. "Admiral, you asked why we sent one ship. The answer is simple. This one ship is our fleet." The aliens looked confused. Some began talking among themselves in their various languages. "You don't understand," Ryan said, his voice growing stronger. "Humanity didn't send one ship because it was all we had. We sent one ship because it was all we needed." "Ridiculous," snapped the stone-like alien. "One small ship against the combined might of 12 civilizations? You are either insane or desperately stupid." "Maybe," Ryan replied, "but you made one critical mistake when you studied humanity." "And what was that?" Admiral Kethamore demanded. "You thought our greatest weakness was that we fight among ourselves," Ryan said. "You saw our wars and our conflicts and decided we were primitive and disorganized. But you missed the most important thing about human warfare." The council chamber was silent now. Even the aliens who had been laughing stopped to listen. "Every human war, every battle, every conflict in our history has taught us one lesson," Ryan continued. "When survival is at stake, when extinction is the alternative, humans don't just fight. We innovate, we adapt. We become something our enemies never expected." Lieutenant Sullivan's voice came quietly over the internal communication system. "All weapons charged and ready, Commander." "You see," Ryan said to the assembled aliens, "when you demanded our entire fleet, you were thinking like galactic politicians. You wanted a show of force, a display of ships that you could count and evaluate and defeat." Ryan paused, looking directly into the camera that was broadcasting his words to thousands of alien ships. "But humans don't think like politicians when we're threatened. We think like survivors, and survivors don't bring a fleet to a fight they can't win. They bring a solution." Admiral Kethamore was no longer amused. "What are you talking about, human?" "I'm talking about the fact that for 15 years, every time one of your ships crashed on a human world, we didn't just bury it," Ryan said. "We studied it. We learned from it. We took your technology and combined it with human engineering in ways you never imagined." The Alien Council was becoming agitated. Several members were consulting their advisors. The ship you're looking at isn't just a human vessel, Ryan continued. It's a combination of human determination and alien technology. It represents everything we've learned about space combat, compressed into the most efficient form possible. Impossible, Admiral Kethmore said, but his voice was less confident now. Our sensors show a primitive human frigate. Ryan's smile grew wider. Your sensors show exactly what we want them to show. He turned to his crew. Kate, Danny, it's time to show the galaxy what happens when humans go to war. Throughout the alien fleet, sensor operators began reporting strange energy readings from the small human ship. Something was changing. The primitive vessel was somehow becoming something else. Admiral Kethmore appeared on screen again, his scaled face showing the first signs of concern. What are you doing? We're answering your question, Ryan replied. You asked why humanity sent one ship. In about 30 seconds, you're going to understand exactly why one ship was enough. The Liberty's Edge began to transform, and the galaxy was about to learn why humans were the most dangerous species it had ever encountered. Commander Ryan Blake looked directly into the communication screen, where thousands of alien eyes watched him from across the Galactic Council fleet. Kate, he said quietly, show them why we only needed one ship. Lieutenant Kate Sullivan's hands moved across her tactical controls with practiced precision. Activating transformation sequence, she announced. The Liberty's Edge began to change. What the aliens had thought was simple gray armor plating suddenly unfolded like mechanical flower petals. Hidden weapon systems emerged from concealed compartments along the ship's hull. Panels slid apart to reveal gleaming cannon barrels and energy projectors. But the most shocking change was the ship's size. Compression field disengaging. Called Chief Petty Officer Danny Torres from his station, the Liberty's Edge expanded. The compression technology that had made it appear to be a small frigate released, and the ship's true dimensions became visible. In seconds, the vessel tripled in size, revealing itself to be a massive battleship disguised as a tiny escort craft. Energy readings are off the charts, shouted an alien voice over the communication channels. How is this possible? Admiral Kethmore's scaled face had gone pale. All ships raise shields. Prepare for combat, Ryan spoke calmly into the communication system. Admiral, you're about to learn something important about human warfare. We don't fight fair. We fight to win. The Liberty's Edge's main cannon began to charge. The weapon was unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. Human engineers had taken alien energy technology and combined it with human kinetic science to create something entirely new. Firing main cannon, Kate announced. The gun roared. The sound echoed across space itself, a deep rumble that seemed to shake reality. The weapon didn't fire a simple energy beam or projectile. Instead, it created what human scientists called a reality tear, a crack in space that simply deleted whatever it touched. The first target was a Vorthak heavy cruiser directly ahead of them. The ship's advanced shields, which could deflect planet-destroying weapons, meant nothing against an attack that bypassed normal physics entirely. The reality tear passed through the cruiser, and a section of the ship simply ceased to exist. Atmosphere and debris exploded outward as the vessel broke apart. Target destroyed, Kate reported. 12 seconds to next firing sequence. But the Liberty's Edge wasn't finished. Secondary weapon systems activated along the ship's expanded hull. Quantum disruptors fired beams of energy that made the atoms of enemy ships forget how to hold together. Kinetic accelerators launched projectiles at speeds that turned them into relativistic weapons. Multiple targets engaged, Kate called out as her weapons found new victims. A Cathani crystal ship shattered as quantum disruptors disrupted its molecular structure. A Verdari bioship withered and died as kinetic rounds punched through its living hull. The alien fleet tried to respond, but their perfect sphere formation worked against them. Ships that tried to fire at the Liberty's Edge found their shots blocked by their own allies. The formation that had looked so impressive was actually a tactical disaster. Danny, give me evasive maneuvers, Ryan ordered. The ship's movement systems engaged, and the Liberty's Edge began to dance between the alien vessels. The inertial dampeners allowed the ship to make turns and accelerations that should have torn it apart. Human pilots had trained for exactly this kind of combat, fighting against overwhelming numbers by staying mobile and unpredictable. Admiral Kethmore is trying to reorganize his fleet, Oracle reported. Several species are requesting permission to withdraw. Not yet, Ryan said grimly. We're not done teaching them this lesson. The Liberty's Edge moved through the alien formation like a shark among fish. Every few seconds, another enemy ship died. The quantum disruptors were particularly effective against energy-based life forms. The kinetic weapons punched through alien armor that was supposed to be impenetrable. The main cannon continued to tear holes in reality, deleting enemy vessels from existence. "Commander," Kate called out, "we're being targeted by the Council flagship." The massive dreadnought at the center of the alien formation was turning its weapons toward them. The ship was enormous, easily 100 times the size of the Liberty's Edge, even in its expanded form. "Danny, can we take a hit from that thing?" Ryan asked. "Negative. That's a planet-killer weapon. Our shields won't hold." "Then we don't let it hit us," Ryan decided. "Kate, target their main gun. Oracle, plot us an intercept course." The Liberty's Edge accelerated toward the alien flagship. Hundreds of smaller ships fired at them, but the human vessel's shields absorbed the energy and redirected it to their own weapons. Each attack made them stronger. The flagship's main cannon began to charge. Energy readings spiked to levels that could crack moons. "They're going to fire," Danny warned. "Kate, now," Ryan ordered. The Liberty's Edge's main cannon fired again. The reality tear raced across space and struck the alien flagship's primary weapon, just as it was about to discharge. The massive cannon simply vanished, deleted from existence. The energy it had been building up had nowhere to go. The explosion lit up space like a small star. When the light faded, the alien flagship was crippled. Its forward section had been vaporized, and the mighty dreadnought was drifting helplessly. "Admiral Kethmore's ship is requesting emergency assistance," Oracle reported. Ryan opened a communication channel to the alien fleet. "Admiral, are you ready to discuss terms?" Admiral Kethmore appeared on screen. His scaled face showed fear and respect that hadn't been there before. Behind him, Ryan could see smoke and emergency lights. "Commander Blake," the alien said slowly, "the Council requests an immediate ceasefire." "Granted," Ryan replied. "All ships, ceasefire." The Liberty's Edge stopped its attack and took position in the center of what remained of the alien formation. In 27 minutes of combat, over 600 Council ships had been destroyed or disabled. The remaining vessels hung in space, afraid to move. "How?" Admiral Kethmore asked. "How did one ship defeat our entire fleet?" Ryan smiled. "Because, Admiral, you made the mistake of thinking that technology wins wars. But wars aren't won by the side with the best ships or the most advanced weapons. They're won by the side that refuses to lose." He gestured to his crew, who were still working calmly at their stations despite having just fought impossible odds. "Every human on this ship represents thousands of years of warfare. We learned to fight when our weapons were sticks and stones. We've been perfecting the art of combat since before we discovered fire. Your civilizations achieved space travel through peace and cooperation. Ours clawed its way to the stars through conflict and determination. But your technology," Admiral Kethmore began. "Our technology is your technology," Ryan interrupted, "combined with human engineering and human tactical thinking. We took what you built and made it better. We made it human." The communication was being broadcast across the entire alien fleet. Ryan knew that his words were being heard by thousands of species across the galaxy. "The Liberty's Edge doesn't represent human technology," he continued. "It represents human philosophy. When we're cornered, when we're facing extinction, we don't surrender. We adapt, we innovate. We become something our enemies never expected." Admiral Kethmore was quiet for a long moment. "What do you want from us?" "Nothing," Ryan said. "We want you to leave us alone. We want to be treated as equals, not as primitives to be controlled. And we want the galaxy to understand that humanity earns respect, not by begging for it, but by proving we deserve it." The alien admiral nodded slowly. "The Council will consider new negotiations." "They will do more than consider," Ryan said firmly. "They will negotiate in good faith as equals, or they will face the consequences." As the Liberty's Edge began its journey home, other human ships started appearing throughout the galaxy. The Council realized the truth. Humanity hadn't sent one ship because it was all they had. They had sent one ship because it was all they needed. The galaxy was learning a new lesson. Never underestimate a species that learned to survive by refusing to quit. The silence in space was deafening. Where moments before there had been the chaos of battle, now there was only the quiet drift of debris and the soft glow of emergency lights from damaged alien ships. The Liberty's Edge hung motionless in the center of what remained of the Galactic Council fleet. like a predator surrounded by wounded prey. Commander Ryan Blake sat in his captain's chair, watching the tactical display that showed the aftermath of their impossible victory. Red dots marked the locations of destroyed enemy vessels. Yellow dots showed ships that were damaged but still functional. Green dots represented the few alien vessels that had escaped the battle completely unharmed. The numbers told the story. In less than 30 minutes, one human ship with a crew of 47 had destroyed or disabled over 600 vessels from the most advanced civilizations in the galaxy. Status report, Ryan said quietly. Lieutenant Kate. Sullivan checked her displays. All weapons systems operating normally. Shields at 87%. No significant damage to ship systems. Casualties? None, Kate replied. 3 crew members have minor injuries from the high-speed maneuvers, but nothing serious. Chief Petty Officer Danny Torres spoke from his station. Commander, we're receiving hundreds of communication requests from the alien fleet. Most of them are asking for permission to withdraw. Put Admiral Kethmore through first, Ryan ordered. The scaled face of the Vorthak Admiral appeared on the main screen. Behind him, Ryan could see damage control teams working frantically to repair his flagship. Commander Blake, Admiral Kethmore said, his voice much more respectful than before. The Galactic Council wishes to formally request a ceasefire and immediate negotiations. The ceasefire is already in effect, Ryan replied. As for negotiations, that will depend on what the Council is prepared to discuss. A new voice joined the conversation. It was the crystal being who had delivered the original ultimatum to Earth. Speaker Zethkar, Ryan acknowledged. Commander Blake, the alien said, its crystalline form shifting between different colors. The Council has voted to withdraw all demands against humanity. We also wish to discuss new diplomatic relationships. Ryan leaned back in his chair. That's a good start. But the Council needs to understand that humanity will not be treated as a junior partner or a protectorate. We want full membership in galactic civilization, with all the rights and responsibilities that implies. But your species is so young, protested another alien voice. Ryan recognized it as coming from one of the plant-like Verdari. You have only been in space for a few decades. And in those few decades, we've proven that we belong here, Ryan replied firmly. Age doesn't determine worthiness. Results do. Danny Torres interrupted the conversation. Commander, I'm detecting multiple hyperspace signatures. Ships are arriving in the system. Ryan felt a moment of concern. If more alien reinforcements were arriving, even the Liberty's Edge might not be able to handle them. Identify the newcomers, he ordered. They're human ships, Danny reported with relief in his voice. Looks like Admiral Hayes decided to send backup after all. On the tactical display, Ryan watched as dozens of human vessels emerged from hyperspace. They were standard Earth Defense Force ships, cruisers, destroyers, and frigates that looked primitive compared to alien technology. But after what the galaxy had just witnessed, no one was underestimating human vessels anymore. Admiral Lisa Hayes appeared on a secondary communication channel. Ryan, report, she said. Mission accomplished, Ryan replied. The Council has agreed to negotiations. Outstanding. We're here to provide support for the diplomatic talks. Admiral Kethmore spoke up. Admiral Hayes, the Council assures you that no additional military force is necessary. We are prepared to negotiate in good faith. I'm glad to hear that, Admiral Hayes replied. But I think you can understand why we want to make sure our diplomatic team has adequate protection. Ryan smiled at the exchange. The aliens were learning that humanity took no chances when it came to protecting their own. Over the next several hours, representatives from the 12-member species of the Galactic Council came aboard the Liberty's Edge for preliminary discussions. Ryan watched with amusement as the alien diplomats tried to hide their nervousness about being inside the ship that had just devastated their fleet. The negotiations were surprisingly productive. The Council agreed to recognize humanity as a full member of galactic civilization. They would have equal voting rights and equal access to galactic trade networks. In return, humanity would respect existing territorial boundaries and follow established diplomatic protocols, but the most important change was in how the galaxy viewed humanity. Your species has demonstrated capabilities that we did not believe possible, admitted Council Speaker Zethkar during one of the sessions. We underestimated both your technological adaptability and your strategic thinking. The question now, added Admiral Kethmore, is how this changes the balance of power in the galaxy. Ryan had been thinking about the same issue. It doesn't have to change anything. Humanity doesn't want to conquer the galaxy or replace the Council. We just want to be treated with respect. But what happens when other species challenge the Council? Asked a representative of the energy beings known as photonics. Will humanity intervene? That depends, Ryan replied honestly. If the challenge is reasonable and peaceful, we'll support fair negotiations. If someone tries to solve their problems through force, they'll discover that humanity has strong opinions about bullies. The alien diplomats exchanged glances. They were beginning to understand that humanity's greatest strength wasn't their technology or their fighting ability. It was their sense of justice and their refusal to be intimidated. As the Liberty's Edge began its journey back to Earth, Ryan made a final log entry. Personal log, Commander Ryan Blake, Day 4 of the Kepler 442 mission. The Galactic Council has agreed to full diplomatic recognition of humanity. Our species will take its place as an equal member of galactic civilization. He paused, looking out at the stars streaming past the ship's windows. The aliens asked why humanity sent one ship. They expected to see our entire fleet so they could evaluate our military strength and decide our fate, but they missed the point entirely. Humans don't fight because we have the biggest fleet or the most advanced weapons. We fight because we refuse to surrender our freedom to anyone, no matter how powerful they claim to be. The Liberty's Edge wasn't just representing our military. It was representing our spirit. The galaxy wanted to see our fleet, so we showed them our fleet. Everything humanity has learned about warfare, about survival, about refusing to quit when the odds are impossible. All of it concentrated into one ship with one crew and one mission. To prove that humans earn respect, not by begging for it, but by deserving it. Ryan closed the log and walked to the observation deck. Through the transparent aluminum windows, he could see Earth growing larger as they approached home. The blue and green planet looked peaceful, but Ryan knew that its people were stronger than any alien could imagine. Lieutenant Kate Sullivan joined him at the window. "Do you think they'll leave us alone now?" she asked. "For a while," Ryan replied. "But there will always be someone who thinks they can push humanity around. When that happens, they'll learn the same lesson the Council learned." "Which is?" Ryan smiled as he watched Earth fill the view screen. "That when humans go to war, we don't bring a fleet. We bring inevitability." The Liberty's Edge continued toward home, carrying news that would change everything. The galaxy had asked why humanity sent one ship, and now they knew the answer. One ship was all they needed, because that one ship carried something no alien civilization had ever developed: the absolute refusal to surrender, no matter what the cost. Humanity had earned its place among the stars, not through politics or diplomacy, but by proving that some things are worth fighting for, and that humans will never stop fighting for them.